What's up, YouTube? So today we're going to shoot out 3 yo-yos. The YoyoFactory Aviator 2, the Duncan 2016 Barracuda, and the Basecamp Expedition. Now, the YoyoFactory Aviator 2 is, I guess, the Chinese constructed Aviator. It's been out for a while. The Aviator 1, I believe, was constructed in America. You can still buy some classic version USA mades on Yo-Yo Expert. So I think that was the Aviator 1. I believe this one is the Aviator 2. I don't think there's many differences. The Aviator 1 may have been a little bit heavier from what I understand. But I'm not entirely sure about the differences there because I've never played an Aviator 1. Barracuda, very similar yo-yo to the Aviator. Very similar shape, as you can see. Super similar shape. This one's probably the heaviest of the 3. Definitely is the heaviest of the 3. And then the Expedition is a Caribou Lodge created but Aviator inspired yo-yo that they did in collaboration with YoyoFactory last year. So I felt that it was a good idea to shoot these 3 out. They're pretty similar as far as shapes go, and let's talk about them a little bit. So we're gonna start with the Aviator 2 because I believe this is the oldest. Well, it's definitely the oldest one of the ones that I have. So Aviator 2 is Luis Enrique's signature YoyoFactory. YoyoFactory's blown this out a couple times and put it on big time sale on their site at like $20, but it was just this color. Super awesome yo-yo. This is probably my favorite YoyoFactory, or at least, top 2 of my favorite YoyoFactories. You can see I got this pretty new, and I've put some dings in it and some scratches because I play it all the time because I really like this yo-yo. Weighs in at about 65 grams, 65.3 grams. I've got it up on the screen, on my computer screen. 65.3 grams, which is pretty good for me, I think. Between that 65, 66 grams, I really like that. I think it combines a lot of like agility, still with the ability to, still have some good spin times. But it's not too heavy, so it's light but still spins good, and I like it. It's good for as long as it's been out. Still I think stacks up and is probably still absolutely one of the best yo-yos that YoyoFactory still has out today. Now, to compare that to the 2016 Barracuda, I don't believe they're inspired by each other at all. I think the Barracuda's been out for a while, and it was USA made. It was really expensive before, and I think the cup was a little different. But I don't have one of those to compare, so we're going to have to compare it to the 2016 one. As you can see, the shape is pretty similar. The YoyoFactory has kind of it like cuts up a little bit. You can see there on the camera. Yeah, camera's picking it up. It like cuts up, whereas this just kind of has a little like dimple out, kind of, instead of cutting in. But otherwise, and the cups are even pretty similar. This is sort of more of a just cup kind of just falls in as opposed to like the steps that are here. But there's kind of a step up here, and the rim's a little thinner, whereas the rim's a little thicker on the Aviator. Now this is a little heavier. I believe this weighs in at 67.6 grams, which is a little heavier. It's considerably heavier, actually. So because of that, you get a lot longer spin times. I feel like this and this are pretty similar as far as stability is concerned. I think they're both really stable. The difference in bearing is this one comes with the center track bearing, and Duncan uses a Diffio licensed concave 10-ball bearing. This is only an 8-ball bearing in their yo-yos. So the bearings are different. Anyway, moving on. To kind of address the last yo-yo. This came out last year. This is a Basecamp Expedition. And this is a collaboration between YoyoFactory and Caribou Lodge. Caribou Lodge designed this yo-yo based on some YoyoFactory designs. Specifically, one of the designs that they used was the Aviator. So there's a lot of Aviator in this, as you can see. A lot of Aviator, particularly in the way that this little kind of lip is constructed. Here, you can see, very Aviator-y. and it kind of cuts up like that. But it's a little bit more. It's got a little bit more of a V to it, kind of like the Shutter. And I think that's actually kind of the description, is that it's more shuttery. It's like a shuttery version of the Aviator, which is cool because I like the Shutter too. So flip over to that. I'll give you the kind of quick little specs on this bad boy. So the this weighs in at about 66.2 grams, so it's heavier than the Aviator, but lighter than the Barracuda. So this is the middle weight of the three. This has a center track bearing, as does the Aviator. So in that regard, the bearing is the same in both of these yo-yos. As you can see, I've got them both in the blue color. This is more of a sky blue. This is a shade darker, but they're still pretty similar as far as the color is concerned. And I think that was probably also done on purpose. Now, as far as performance is concerned, I think these two play identical in performance. I think this is a little bit lighter and quicker, but this has better spin times. The finish on this is a little bit better, but at the same time, this has kind of a better cup to sort of practice finger spins and stuff on. It's a little more friendly to that, whereas this is just sort of really flat. This sort of concaves in and is a little bit better for that. I can actually land them on this. I can't land them on this, although I'm not going to do it on camera because I'm not good enough at them. And just watching me fumble isn't going to help you, understand the differences between the yo-yos. Now, the Expedition is probably my favorite of the three yo-yos that I'm shooting out tonight. I really, really like this yo-yo. I think they did an amazing job. I think they took everything that I love about this yo-yo and improved upon it and kind of made the performance better. The little bit more weight gives it just that little bit more spin time, like the Barracuda would have. It's just got that little bit more spin time. It's got a bigger, like the rim is bigger than this. As you can see, the cup size, the cup is very different, and the rim is bigger on this, so it just kind of gives that little bit of extra spin time. It just feels a little more powerful, and the kind of wider, more V type shape just really is just kind of a better for all around type of stuff. Whereas this is great for stuff, for plenty of your normal tricks, and this is a great yo-yo. The Aviator 2 is fantastic, but I feel like this kind of handles things. This kind of handles more tricks, and it handles them better, and it's easier to land tricks on this yo-yo, and it's easier to learn new tricks, and you get better spin time, and it's easier just to play this yo-yo. The Basecamp Expedition is just an easier yo-yo to play than the Aviator 2. Now, I would say the Basecamp Expedition's spin times are very comparable to the Duncan Barracuda. I feel like the only downside to the Aviator is because it's so light, once it does start to die, it really dies quickly. Whereas the yo-yos that are a little bit heavier kind of don't die out as quickly. So they really have kind of that sort of extra going for you if you're trying to learn new tricks. Now, if you were just, if I'm just throwing around or whatever, playing with tricks I already know, there's no, the difference is very minimal. As you can see, they are super similar, and you could definitely tell that the Basecamp Expedition is really inspired by the Aviator 2. The Barracuda, while it's not sort of in the same family as these two, is also pretty similar. It's almost kind of the medium between these two, where it's heavier than the Basecamp Expedition, but the Barracuda is also shaped more like the Aviator 2, so you kind of get that shape as well. The Barracuda and the Aviator are more comfortable to hold. That's not to say this is uncomfortable, but the fact that it kind of V's a little bit harder than these do, that's kind of where that comfort level for me comes in, when I'm just holding it in my hand. But most of the time when you're playing with a yo-yo, you're not holding it in your hand. At least you shouldn't be. You're playing with it wrong if that's what you're doing. Throw it, put it on the string, spin it around. The in-the-hand stuff doesn't make a ton of sense to me so much as the performance and just the fun of it is. Now, kind of the one thing they sort of preserved with this, let me see if I can kind of get it on camera, is the Barracuda and the Aviator 2 was just the way that the cups are. They kind of ring fun. And this also, put it over the mic here, kind of has a little bit of a fun ring to it. Now this is pretty smooth. Mine's a little bit dinged up. I got this on the BST, so it's a little bit dinged up. You can kind of feel. I mean, it's not so much vibration as much as you can feel the dings on the rim if you touch it, but it otherwise feels really smooth and like really solid on the string. Aviator 2, or the Barracuda, very similar. I did get this new. This was a Christmas present or a birthday present from my wife. You can tell this one's kind of got that cool ring to it, and that's that big cup, kind of just amplifying the bearing sound. But this is also butter smooth. You know, I said it a bunch of times, but Duncan really brought the heat last year with their releases, and I think this was one of the first ones of 2016. One of the first like Duncan releases, at least of modern unresponsive yo-yos, and they really brought the heat with this. This is a really fun yo-yo. The other thing, in the, like I said, the oldest one, the Aviator 2, has that same kind of ring when you throw it. You can hear it. It's because of that cup. So the similar cups kind of have a similar ring. I've kind of beat mine up a little bit, so it vibes a little more because I've smacked it off of things. And I think just, you know, this one always had it was always a little bit less smooth than the other ones. But I always kind of felt that was to its benefit because you could kind of feel it. It wasn't like an unsatisfying smooth. You know what I mean? It was a very like satisfying, like just kind of a ring that sort of vibrates it a little bit, but not anything that you could detect without looking for it. But you can kind of hear it, and that's kind of a pleasing sound to me. Hopefully you heard it on the mic there. Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about the prices of these things. So the Duncan Barracuda is the cheapest one, at least in solid colors. It's $44.99 brand new, which is a great price for this. At the $45 price range, that's a cat. That's Penny. Hi, Penny. At the $45 price range, this absolutely stacks up to everything in its price range. Absolutely. There isn't a single yo-yo at the $45 price range that this couldn't compete with. This is a great yo-yo at $45. Now, that being said, this starts at like $52, and I think that's just because that's what the old machining prices were before. I think this has been out longer I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe this has been out for quite a few years. I think this has been out since 2013-ish. I think this came out before the Shutter. Maybe even longer than that, because I guess they still made some in America at the time. So it's been out for a while. And $52 is still what they're asking for full price. I've seen them, like I said, YoyoFactory blew out a bunch of them at $20, and they were all in this color. So at $20, this is a steal. If I didn't already have one, I'd have bought one. I, in fact, contemplated buying another one. Had the only one that was $20 was this color, had that not been the case, I probably would have bought another one had they had a different color for $20. If you can get them for $20, if YoyoFactory blows them out again or something, get this. For $20, this is the greatest yo-yo ever. Hands down, if you can find it at $20, don't even hesitate. Just buy it. Buy two. That's how good this is for that kind of money. Buy two, give one to your friend. Tell him to learn how to play with yo-yo, because this is a great yo-yo for that. You know, at the $52 price range, I think that's a little bit outdated. Not that it doesn't hang with lots of yo-yos in that price range. It's certainly, I actually kind of like it a little bit better than the Barracuda, just slightly, but it's really more of a preference thing, and I think it's the finish really that does it for me. And it's not that it's bad at $52. It's certainly very good, and you can get it lots of really great colorways. Some of the newer colorways even have the nicer blasted finish, I believe. You know, at $52, still good, and comes in some really great colorways. It comes in a ton of different colors, and it's still a really fun yo-yo. Now, this one's the most expensive of the three. This the Basecamp stuff, at least the Expedition and the Jackknife, all come in at $75. Now, I don't have a problem with that price point. I understand that's kind of the median between where Caribou Lodge's price points are and YoyoFactory's price points. So, you know, if they want to meet at the Basecamp, that $75 price is probably that. That being said, I got this used. As you can see, it's kind of dinged up a little bit. It's a great yo-yo, and it's, like I said, it certainly outperforms, in my opinion, the Aviator and the Barracuda, while retaining a lot of the qualities of those two yo-yos that I really like. But I didn't pay $75 for it, and I would have been hesitant to. I still would have been hesitant to. Now, if you can get it on sale for like $50, absolutely grab one. At brand new at $50, I think that's a great price for it. I think that $50, $60, something like that, if you can get it on sale, I think at that price point, absolutely killer. At $75, is it worth the $75? Yeah, I'd say it plays to that level. But being as mass produced in China as it is, and I know, don't hate on me. I'm not hating on Chinese construction. I think it's great. I think it's fine. It's plenty consistent. But it's hard for me to and I'm sure this was prototyped more, and I know there's a lot more that goes into this, but when you can get new magic yo-yos $30-ish to pay, that are shipped in China or that are made in China and come out and they're very smooth and they're very good. Now this is a much better yo-yo, absolutely, but it's still made in China, manufactured in China. At $75, I have a hard time with that. That's just me. I understand. And yes, does this play $75? Absolutely. Did they put $75 worth of yo-yo into this yo-yo? Yes, absolutely. Am I looking too far into it? Yes, absolutely. But if you can get it on sale, $50, $60, absolutely grab it. This is an awesome yo-yo. I love this yo-yo. I've been carrying it everywhere because when I bought it on the BST, it's got dings and stuff in it. So I've been carrying it everywhere because it's just that fun. It's fun and it performs. And I really can't ask more out of a mono metal than that. It's a lot of fun and it performs really well. And it harkens to other yo-yos that I really, really like, but it performs just a little better. So, for all that, I guess, despite my griping about the price, it really is a great yo-yo, and at $75, that's not that bad. Anything under $100, I guess, is great, because yo-yos used to be $100 plus. And this really is a great yo-yo to have, and it's a really fun yo-yo to have in my collection. I'm going to play it all the time. And they don't come up used all that often, so I really had to jump on this one. But anyway, guys, that was my comparison. Out of the three, the Expedition certainly is my favorite, like I said. But these ones are great too. And if you're wondering, which one should I get? Get whichever one you can get in the color that you like the most, because they're all great and you're gonna have fun with every one of them. And that's my opinion, although I do think this one performs the best, but all three are a lot of fun and are worth checking out, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribers are getting up there, so we're going to be doing probably a giveaway sooner than I had anticipated, so I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that subscribes. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers to you. And I'll see you next time.